Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're a first-time visitor, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you as a full-time viewer. So today, I have these Jada Toys drift cars from the Fast and Furious. We got Han's RX-7 and Brian's Supra. Now, I'm going to be doing a series of mods on these two. The RX-7 I'll be dealing with later. I'm going to just do simple mods to it, stuff you can do for almost free. And for the Supra, it's going all out. So we're going to completely redo this one. I had some requests to make it hobby grade, so let's see if we can do that. Get the body off of it. Now, I'm going to have to open all of this up and expose everything and see what we're working with to get started. But I have gathered up some supplies. Got some speed controllers. It's little 10 amperes. This little servo, but I may go with something bigger. I have other ones laying around. Got a Radiolink R7FG receiver. This does have a gyro in it. I don't know if I'm going to be using it or not yet. I have to see how it drives. The RX6GS radio to go with it, which has a ton of features. And some underbody green lights. And we're just going to get started ripping this thing open and seeing what we can do with it. So we have it opened up, and this is what you'll find under the main board. So this is the battery. It is a 3-cell 9.6 volt lithium-ion battery, 320 milliamps. So I'm going to remove that. Now, when we get to the other one, when I decide to do the free mods, that is something that I'll be doing, is just upgrading the battery. We have this propped up. All of this will be removed. And we need to expose this area here and find the motors. And let me see here. Would you look at that? This may be just a one motor design. That is a drive shaft right there. That is great. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this back end open, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is pretty cool. The back half is actually a pod. This sits on top. You see your drive shaft hanging out, and it all slides up inside the body into this socket. So all I have to do with this is reassemble it, and I've got my wire leads hanging out, so that's all I need. And I'll remove the circuit board from the middle and put in a speed controller. And we've got a metal pinion gear, and all the other gears are plastic. But you can see this is a direct drive. It looks like we have nice lock differentials on that for drifting. That's nice. Everything's greased. And I think that's a 380 motor. Oh, that's about what it looks like to me. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that back together and get the speed controller installed, and we'll go from there. ESC and receiver are all hooked up. I direct soldered the wires to the motor. And I also made a couple of adapters so I could run two different styles of batteries, either JST Red or the XT60s. And we have forward and reverse. So now I've got to start tearing this section open and see what we're dealing with on the steering. I am liking this model more and more as I mess with it. Hope you can see on your front turnbuckles, they're metal, so that's nice. Hopefully it'll be some decent quality stuff inside I can work with. Let me get that pried open and see about where I can mount a servo and how to do it. Here's what it looks like inside. Would have had this steering gearbox would have set down in here and ran an arm over to your cross member here, and that runs your steering. And it had a little brushed motor inside that ran that. So my idea is set this back on, cut this out, mount my servo right here. I think I'm going to go with this 20 kilogram servo. And then, oops, take a piece of either angle brace aluminum or something and go off this with a 90. And that way I can have the servo arm sitting down through, hitting there, being able to run the steering. Let me see what I can come up with. So this is what you're going to be dealing with inside the front end. It's not bad to deal with at all. Now you can use either a small piece of angle aluminum or anything you have. I had a body mount off a Tamiya kit, so that's what I used. Now I had to extend the servo arm to make it a little bit longer, but see, that will work. Now for your top that goes over that, I have cut it in this shape so the servo arm can work and the servo will be mounted over here. So that's the shape you're going to want to cut for that. This thing has not been bad to work on at all, and it's actually fairly simple put together and easy to work on, so it's a nice hobby conversion. I'm going to get that bolted together and see if we can get the steering working. So everything is installed and working. Let me walk you through what I did. So where we left off before, I was showing you where to mount the servo, and I have mounted it there. I just used 2 servo mounts out of an old Tamiya kit. I drilled holes up through the bottom and mounted those 2 pegs. You can use anything. Piece of angled aluminum will work, a scrap piece of plastic or wood, anything you got that you can set back there and put a screw through. Then I wired everything up. Added my on and off switch right here, cut down in. Inside here you can see I have the ESC and the receiver. I just cut some of the stuff out of the way so those would sit nice and flush down in there, and I added this piece of Velcro across the middle. Now this does have the option, it has a servo built into that receiver, but I test drove this thing in the kitchen and it really just handled amazingly without the gyro, so there's really no need for it. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll do a quick test drive after I show you the rest of what we've done. So after that, I have added the LED lights. Now I went through with Blenderm. This is 3M Blenderm medical tape. This stuff holds amazing. And these lights are self-adhering, but I don't trust that strip. It seems to always come undone, so I've gone across it with that Blenderm tape, and that seems to be holding very well. Well, let me put the top on it. Turn on the radio. Nice and easy to reach there. Oh. And steering works. It is proportional. Now, these lights do put a drain on the system. I will say that. So, I may have to use a much larger LiPo if I want to keep using them. Now, with my radio, it tells me what the car is doing. So, that shows you how much. It's already telling me that I've got low power. But, let's put this thing down in the kitchen and give it a try. As you can see, she drifts like a champ now. I did undo the lights for the testing because they are a serious drain. I will leave the link for them if you want to use them, but I'm going to consider a separate power source for mine because they just pull so much power. They look awesome, but they do pull a lot of power. But as far as the hobby grade conversion goes, I mean, proportional steering, you can see it. I can move it as little or as much as I want. Same with the proportional throttle. We can barely go or just let it have it. And why this thing doesn't have a ton of power, it has consistent power and enough power to spin the tires, and that's what you need. So, thanks for watching. I hope you like this hobby grade conversion, and have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Yeah.